What up, everybody? It's your boy Rich. Rich, Real Talk with Rich is back. We in the building. Good to see you. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. We are here to do a show. And man, it's good to be here. That's all I can say. Um, man, oh man. So I hope everybody had a great week. Want to send a shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Want to shout out to Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam. We in this thing, man. And so as we prepare, you know what I'm saying, for this show tonight, I want to do some real quick housework. Please like, share, subscribe. Want you to share this video with your friends. Tell a hater, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell whoever. But your boy's live and we in the building tonight. Just glad to be here. So I've had a interesting week, and I just got to say that, you know, I'm glad it's over. Getting ready to start a new week. And, you know, you know, as somebody whose life is full, whose cup runneth over, I tell you, you know, I'm in, you know, a part of having, you know, roles in ministry and doing ministry work, and different ministry, working in different ministries at my church. You know, I'm also in seminary, and I also work a full-time job. So, and I do this, and I hang out with the fam on Wednesday nights as well. So I'm always going and going and going. And I have not had a lot of time to decompress, not a lot of time to just chill. So tonight, you know what I'm saying, the show gonna be a little light tonight. I'm gonna need the chat's energy to help with tonight, but we're gonna have I believe we're gonna have a dope show. And again, like I said, please like the video. If you're on your way in, please hit that like button. Uh, hit the notification bell so whenever we go live, you'll not only see my face, but you'll see Paul and Mark on Friday nights. You'll also see us with the Wednesday wrap up. So just do that for us. It helps us with the algorithm and makes things flow. So want to just shout out to Robert Monroe Jr. Good to see you. H&H is in the building. That's what's up. Want to shout out Gordon Mahan. Thank you, sir, for joining. Pericles, what up? Philly Boyne, good to see you. That's what's up. So, yo, we're gonna go on and get into the shenanigans tonight. We're gonna be a chat intensive show tonight. This is gonna be one of what I would like to call an AMA show, Ask Me Anything type show. So we're gonna do that. But before we do that, we're gonna just start the show with our you know, topics that we like to do, a segment of our show called Low Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of the show where we get into the news and little tidbits here and there. And yeah, so let's get into this thing. Our first article tonight is a comicbook.com article. Marvel's Black Panther game developer faces backlash after admitting to not hiring white developers. Okay. Now, first of all, let me just say before I even get started that this is not somebody that was working on the Black Panther game. However, this person that worked on the game has a history of not working with other white developers. So check out what she has to say about this, and I'll offer some commentary after I finish reading this article. It says, a narrative designer for Cliffhanger Comics, a subsidiary of Electronic Arts and studio developing the upcoming Marvel Black Panthers game, landed in a bit of hot water this week after their previous comments admitting to discriminatory hiring practices resurfaced. Danny Lalanders, an associate narrative designer for Cliffhanger Games and self-described Black non-binary woman, previously admitted to building a team with no white people while working on a game called Validate. So this has nothing to do with the Black Panther game at all. She just happened to be associated with, and so we'll talk about why this news is surfaced. But anyway, she says here, we have no white people on our team. Lalanders admitted during a stream for the Game Develops of Color Expo in 2021, I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment, and I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. Okay, I'm not saying white people aren't creating safe environments. I'm saying sometimes it's hard to work with white people because sometimes they think something is okay, but it's really a microaggression, Lalanda's concluded. Although Lalanda's made the comments back in 2021, they recently went viral when libs of TikTok tweeted this portion of the presentation. Ain't that the devil? Now, it's important to note that this only pertains to Lalanda's time at Veritable Joy Studios. There's no evidence that EA or Cliffhanger Games is engaging in this sort of hiring policy. Lalonda is only an associate narrative designer at the studio, which is fairly an entry-level position, so it's unlikely she is determining who gets hired. Even so, it's probably not a topic that EA or Cliffhanger Games wants to be associated with. Neither the publisher nor the developer had commented on Lalanda's previous statements. Cliffhanger Games was introduced back in July 2023 as a new AAA development studio with a focus on Marvel's Black Panther, led by Kevin Stevens of Monolith Productions. The game is an original third-person single-player adventure. The studio, quote-unquote, aims to build an expansive and reactive world that empowers players to experience what it is like to take on the mantle of Wakanda's protector, the Black Panther. Okay, now, this Black Panther game is soon to come out, and the timing on this is definitely suspect. Okay, now here's the thing. The people that put this out and made this go viral are called libs of TikTok. And sometimes, guys, you can be involved in some stuff that is just so egregious, so crazy, that even the people that you may quote unquote call your allies will say, you know what? We can't rock with you with this. And again, I understand perfectly what she was saying, but because you understand what someone is doing does not necessarily mean that it's the right thing to do. You know, you do nobody no favors when you say stuff like that, because let's say this had been a white creator or a white developer that said this and said, oh, we don't hire any Black people because, you know, some of the things that they say, they might think it's okay, but it's a microaggression. You know, they would get canceled. Twitter would go crazy, especially Black Twitter, and the woke, you know, mafia would jump in and with 2 feet and be ready to swing. So it's okay to have your thoughts and your thinking, but you know, some of you guys that's walking around here with the SJW badge on your chest, you got to know that there come consequences with the things you say and do. And ultimately what you find out is that everybody, truthfully, is the same. Everybody is the same. And so you can have good intentions, but don't get pissed or don't get mad if it go left on you. So, you know, it's like people were running around when R. Kelly was in his trash, and they were getting ready to haul, you know, R. Kelly to jail. There was a lot of Black folk running around talking about, why don't y'all go after Harvey Weinstein? Why don't y'all go after him? Like, y'all just want equality on all sides. So when you get equal, or you get equality, understand what you're getting. Understand what that means. And again, I go back to the timing of this. And so that's going to cause this game to not probably be something that a lot of people are going to pick up just because of this. Because they don't want to be associated with someone who has those kind of thoughts. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But hey, it is what it is. Now, Jonathan says, didn't Jordan Peele say something very similar about his style of filmmaking, excluding the Caucasian brethren? He probably did. But I bet you he worded it in such a way to where it would not necessarily alienate the whole thing. It's okay. You can have your own style or your own thing, but it's never cool to just say, well, you know what, I'm not hiring this person or that person, because that can get you wrapped up in discrimination situations. It's just like if you're making, say, a movie about, you know, let's say you're making a movie about somebody from South America, okay? Well, it's okay to say that I want to employ people from South America, but you can't say stuff like, well, I'm not going to employ Black people from America because they don't really understand the ways of South Americans, whatever. It's never okay to say that. Now, it's cool if you want to have a staff that's, pro-black or whatever, but it's a way to do everything. It's a way to do everything. That's what I'm saying. But here's the deal. She was talking to a group of people of color. So her words, in and of itself, she thought she was talking among family. Well, somebody in the family put that out there and got a hold of it, and it went viral. So again, I don't know if anything bad going to happen or she's going to get fired or whatever the case is. It does not make a good look for those who want to get the Black Panther game, because people want the Black Panther game to be successful, right? They want it to be successful. So the last thing EA wants to do is have to answer questions about a developer that worked on the game. That's the last thing they want to do. It's like when you have bad character on your football team, and you're the coach, or you're the owner of the team, or you're a player on the team, and then you have to answer questions about somebody's thoughts. It may not be your thoughts, you may not agree, or you may agree, but you shouldn't have to answer for everybody else's thought process. That's kind of how that goes. And I like what World of Black Heroes said. He said Jordan Peele did, but how it was done made it more palatable. Yeah. So that's what's up. It says libs of TikTok are not a liberal group. They're white-wing conservatives who are always complaining about the woke. Okay. Interesting, because, the thought is, well, you know what? Now I think about it. You're right. Because in the comment section of that, they were talking about that. And they thought that that was the thinking. So I apologize for that. I did get that commentary from some of the comments that I read about the article itself. So, but I didn't know that they were a right-wing group. But again, to their point, that they made a point, and I think that that's the thing that people got to understand. And I'm not saying I agree, but I have to approach this like Michael Jordan. Republicans wear sneakers. You're trying to sell a game, and you want to be able to sell this game to everybody, and you can't do that selling to the woke, because the woke don't buy games. Y'all do know that, right? The woke don't buy games. They don't buy comics. They don't watch sports. They don't do none of the things. They will complain about what's going on in your fandom, but they don't buy comic books. They don't buy sports. They don't buy games. They don't do none of the things. All they want to do is show up and complain about what's going on with the world and why you need to do certain things and why certain people should be excluded. And again, we know this firsthand, okay? So again, you don't do us no favors by saying that, oh, she pro-black because she don't have no white folk. No, that don't pass the smell test. It's got to be a little bit deeper than that. Frustrated says, let's be honest, game development has been dominated by white developers, so why this is not celebrated for having the first full black staff on a game? No. See, frustrated? See, this is where we got it. This is where we got it. We got it. we need context. Here's the context. This is not something that they did on the Black Panther game. Okay? This actually starts from, she did this on a game called Validate. It was a game that she worked on back in 2021. She made those statements about that game. Okay? She did not make these statements about the commentary of the Black Panther game. She's not even a lead developer on the Black Panther game. She's just associated with the Black Panther game. Okay? And the reason why I brought this to you guys, this made news, is because she was attached to it. Now you see why I mentioned it, because she didn't even, here's the thing. This was something she said back in 2021. Something that she did with another game back in 2021. The commentary she made. She's working on the Black Panther game with some people, but now it's one of those things where, hey, we're trying to put this game out. But did y'all know that one of the developers on the game said this? So that's what that is. So y'all do with that what y'all will. Leon Abbott said, this is like the incident with that Boston mayor throwing a non-white holiday party. Look, what you doing to privacy in your home? or it's up because it's completely up to you. But they not they not this is not what this is. He said, "Now the broke don't buy games." They don't. Trust and believe that the people that were clapping, and here's the thing, I had not even heard about a game called Validate. That goes to show you how popular that game was. So again, it is what it is. Born 360, every day doesn't have to be said. Stop telling on yourself. Yeah, well, we live in a generation of snitching. This is a generation that love to snitch on themselves. But hey, you do it, we're gonna talk about it. With that being said, guys, please, please, please. Says, okay, so they're trying to kill the game. Exactly, frustrated. Exactly. Has nothing to do with the game itself. Nothing to do with the game itself. They put this out here to smear the game. So that's what's up. What up, Tron World? Good to see you. World of Black Hero says she should have been celebrated for having an all-black development team, but it's problematic to say I don't hire white people while attaching capacity to the Black Panther game. This runs the risk of doing to the game what Taraji did with the Color Purple movie. Exactly. Exactly. Got to play the long game. Can't play the short game. Got to play the long game, especially when you're in the entertainment industry. The short game is cool, but you got to play the long game. And this here is, like I say, people are going to ask EA Sports questions and Cliffhanger Games questions about this lady. Like, well, she's on the staff. And so if the sales on this thing are not what they quote unquote could be or should be because of what people have said about it or said about her, can't blame nobody but yourself. John says, I've been woke since age 14, 1988, so I partially disagree that woke folk don't buy comics and only show up to call out and complain. Well, again, that's the you would I would say you are the minority because we've seen this. Respectfully, Tron World, most people that are woke, they ain't spending their bread like that. Not for these kind of things. We see it too much. We get on our show every week and complain about people don't buy comic books. They want representation, but they don't buy books. And it shows in books getting canceled and in books sales. We can talk all day long about, do for your people, representation, all that. But what good is it for somebody to offer it or to give it, and then you don't go to the shop and support it? I'm glad you support it, but we need more people like you, my brother. And Gaming Well, as I said, there are two definitions of woke: them folk and ours. That's true. No doubt. So anyway, that's enough of that foolishness. Let's get on to our next article, which is another comic book article. Star Trek. Sons of Star Trek writer Morgan Hampton breaks down the debut issue. Morgan Hampton, of course, he's the guy that wrote on the Cyborg book, the DC Cyborg book that just finished. I thought he did a decent job on it. I felt it could have been better, but I do like this first issue of Sons of Star Trek. It's a pretty cool concept, and this is the article. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will just give you some tidbit from it. And this is actually in the stores right now that you can go get. Speaking of exclusively to comicbook.com, Star Trek Sons of Star Trek writer Morgan Hampton discusses the issue's biggest surprise. On Wednesday, Sons of Star Trek #1 from writer Morgan Hampton, angel artist Hernandez, and colorist Nick Filardi started or created, I guess, or put out Star Trek Sons of Star Trek. It's a book that focuses on the sons of, there's Jake Sisko, who is the son of Captain Sisko. Worf has a son in this particular book as well. And there's I think it's one more. The guy's Ferengi. I can't remember his name. But suffice to say, if you are a Star Trek head, you'll probably find this pretty intriguing. And what they go on is a little adventure. This is kind of like a legacy or generational type book where it's kind of like, I would say, if I had to give it a comparison, it's kind of like, sons of, like Batman and Superman, the Super Sons meet Star Trek. That's kind of what it is. So you guys should go pick that up. It's in the stores. The one that when I bought it, there wasn't that many copies on the shelf, so people are buying it. So, but if you're a Star Trek fan, I recommend you go pick it up. I definitely enjoyed the first issue. I don't want to spoil it. I'm mad because I missed the book. No, it's probably at the store, bro. You just got to go, or just maybe ask somebody to get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the first issue just came out, so and it just came out this week. So go call your LCS on tomorrow or Tuesday and see if they can hold you a copy or get you a copy. So yeah, you should be able to get it. So that's what's up. So y'all go get that. That's in the stores. Should be pretty entertaining. And it's good to see Jake Sisko in comic books along with his dad. And his dad is in the book too as well. Shout out to Deep Space Nine, all you Deep Space Nine fans. I'm pretty sure you guys will definitely enjoy it. With that said, we're going to go to our last article. It's a CBR article. Shout out to the MCU. Shout out to all of you guys out there that's still holding on. Still holding on. Despite the delays, despite the trauma that Marvel is inflicting on y'all. Marvel exec explains Ironheart's delay and why it's a good thing. Marvel fans might be having an extended wait for the Ironheart. He said, might be, really? But the good news is that it will come with a rise in quality. Now, they finished filming it, but they're going to, I guess, do some reshoots, a lot of editing. But here's the deal. Originally planned to be released by Disney Plus in early 2023, Ironheart has undergone multiple delays and is reportedly expected to be released in the latter half of 2025. Comicbook.com's Phase Zero podcast, an update on the series, was shared by Brad Winderbaum, head of streaming TV and animation at Marvel Studios. Winderbaum explained that the show's delays are mostly due to Disney pulling back on the amount of Marvel Studio releases per year, forcing projects in development to have their release dates more spread out. Yeah, you're going to be waiting, so looking forward to Ironheart. You'll be waiting for it on the second half of 2025. Tragic. While that creates a painful wait for shows like Ironheart, Winterbaum also teased that the extra time is allowing the studio to make the show even better. Frankly, in all honesty, there was a mandate to kind of create as much as we could for Disney Plus as quickly as we could. So they basically admit that they're just rushing stuff out there, just running stuff out there. Okay? Winterbaum explained, and then there was a shift. All of a sudden, we have to start spreading our release dates out. So that really accounts for a lot of the delays. Now we're using time. We're not sitting idle, so it stays in the oven. You can bake certain things a little more. Actually, I think ultimately it's only going to make things better. But most of it's just frankly shrapnel from the business. We know that Ironheart is a series created by Shanika Hodge and is based on the Marvel character, originally created by Brian Michael Bendis and Mike Deodato. Dominique Thorne, who leads the cast as Riri Williams, will be reprising her role after making her first appearance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And the series also stars Anthony Ramos, Alden Ehrenreich of Oppenheimer, Lig Ross from This Is Us, and Manny Montana, Westworld. It's also reported that Sacha Baron Cohen will make his MCU debut in the series. Confirming that the shooting had already been finished and going on to tease the quality of the series, the star Dominique Thorne told Deadline, this is back in February, that filming is concluded. And I mean, we can say, strap in, get ready. It will be a ride, much like they all are. It is an epic journey and one I'm very excited to be part of and to share. So again, Ironheart will be on Disney Plus on the latter end of 2025. So for all of you that's out there been thinking about Ironheart, you're going to have to find something else to watch because the show won't be out till late next year. Tragic. Man, that's messed up. I mean, I hope they do it right, but good grief, man. Gordon says the Ferengi's name is Nog. Okay. H&A says, sounds like Marvel has spaghetti strategy. Just throw as much as you can on the wall and see what sticks. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And you expect that. You expect more from Marvel, I think. I think we all expect better from Marvel because they're this giant, but, they have issues. They have issues. It is what it is. So, guys, we're going to get ready to go to commercial. But before we go to commercial, we want to just give you an update on some up and coming shows that are going to take place in our space over the next couple of weeks. On this upcoming Thursday, March the 21st, you guys are going to have a treat. Brian Edward Hill, who's writing the Blade comic book and the Ultimate Black Panther book, will be our guest on, like I said, that's March the 21st. And it's probably going to be at 8 o'clock, if I had to guess, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. That's going to be a fire discussion. So you guys want to be here for that. Again, please hit the like button and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss this interview. It's going to be a treat. That guy's doing work at Marvel. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all come and see that. Also, next Sunday, Derek and I, our super duper producer, will be joined by Ken Quattro to have a discussion, okay, on Weird Fantasy 18. This is a major book. It is a super book that every Black collector should desire to have. If nothing else, get a reprint, but you really want this book in your collection. We're going to have a dope discussion about that. So y'all stay tuned for that. That's going to be amazing as well. But we do have a super chat. L-Dog with the super chat says, great show, Rich. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what's up. So yeah, so y'all stay tuned, man. That's gonna be amazing. Also, we want to just hit you up and remind you too of the upcoming Kickstarter Epiphany engine. It's going to be coming out, and they will be kicking off that campaign pretty soon. That's going to be amazing. Headed up by Advent Comics, there are going to be over 30 Black independent titles represented. We're going to put out a graphic novel, almost 200 pages, and all of those companies that you see right there listed and others will be part of that. That, my friends, is going to be amazing. Cannot wait for them to start doing the interviews. We will be talking to some of these creators and some of these heads of these awesome IPs, and we are going to, we're going to drum up a lot of support and anticipation of this particular book coming out. There's nothing like this, we had, the War of Independence #2 that had featured many Black independent characters on it, but this is going to shatter that record. And again, that it's going to be amazing. Y'all want to see unity? This is unity in action, y'all. Y'all stay tuned for that. Before we get out of here and go to commercial break, I want to look at some of these comments. Neon Apathy says, as long as they really use this time perfect, because Secret Invasion messed up with that concept, no doubt. And Gordon Mahan says yes to the shows that we're going to be coming out. And Amani says, sound like another gatekeeping roadblock to me. Stop it. Anyway, look, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to you guys. This is going to be an Ask Me Anything show. Pretty much you can just ask whatever you will if it's related to comics. If it's not too personal, if I have thoughts, I will share my thoughts with you. And I want you to share your thoughts with me. We're going to talk about some dope books. And yeah, man, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to take an extended break, some about 2 or 3 commercials. So get you something to drink. Get you a snack, whatever, take a restroom break, whatever, stretch your legs. We're going to be here in a minute. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up, comic fam? It's your boy Paul with an exclusive look at a dope new section of our blackcomiclords.net website. Head to the site, click on Black Indie Comics for your selection of the dopest black comics around. And if you're a black comic creator and you want to be added to the site, send us your link with a copy of your logo so we can add it in there. But be patient. We're getting there. We're getting there. Much respect to all of you.
Hello, hello, hello. Tim Fielder here, author of Maddie's Rocket, Infinitum and Afrofuturist Tale, and the graphic history of hip hop. I'm a visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist. Buy my books. Go to Diesel Funk, at Diesel Funk on all social media handles. I need you to buy my books. Thank you, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
What's up, y'all? We are blues people. We can rap the blues, sing the blues, talk the blues, and of course in comic books, we can read the blues. One such tale can be found in Peter Parker's Spider-Man number 35. This tale is about a little boy living the blues. He finds himself excited about a birthday party and he runs home to tell Mama, but Mama's digging her own blues. He escapes to his sanctuary, his bedroom, and drifts into another world where Spider-Man is real and comes by and talks to him. This book is a reminder of how important a comic book or a collectible can be to anybody, but especially a child. This book pulls hard at the heartstrings, and no matter how many times I see this book in long boxes, I always make a point to buy it. Why? Because I know this kid. You have seen this kid. Shoot, you may have even been this kid. There are thousands of Spider-Man stories, but by far, this is my favorite Spider-Man book. So I suggest that you pick it up. I promise you, you won't be able to put it down. If you like this video, share it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, peace.
Where's our black real estate in comics? What do I mean? Let's check out Black Panther. He is gone from the MCU for reasons. And what is happening in the comics? We can complain all day about how our champion is being treated, but we don't own that character. Look at Milestone character, curated by one of the greats, Dwayne McDuffie, my guy, but we don't really own or control any of his characters. DC does. So I'll ask again, where is our black real estate in comics? Meet Delta Dogs from Millennial Comics, created and controlled by us, where story sits in the forefront. Delta Dogs is more than just black characters being black for the sake of being black. This story is about 7 cousins that gets into an encounter with a mysterious glowing stranger that changes their lives forever. And with their unique abilities, this family may be the one thing that can save their hood that's being ruled over by a vicious super gang. With an ex-criminal as their leader and other superheroes that looks the other way when it comes to their environment, this will be an impossible mission to pull off. Grab these books in our hardcover Ultimate Edition bundle at millennialcomic.com so we can really have some skin in the game when it comes to the comic book industry. Keep doing y'all thing, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
Yo, we're back. So it's time for chat talk. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm up for it. You can ask me anything, regarding the comics, pop culture, entertainment, whatever. It's all good. It's all on the table tonight. Now let's just stop so serious. Says Dr. Ewing is moving over to X-Men. You think the Black Panther legacy will be on hiatus long term? I do not. I do think that they will have a Black Panther writer sooner than later. One of the things that they did after Jeffrey Thorne's run was make sure that somebody came right behind him, and I think that they want to keep that up. because they recognize that how short that run was. So I don't think that we will have to worry about when the next Black Panther book will come out. I do think that they'll let us know within, I would say, 3 months. Now here's the thing. This summer, of course, is the Blood Hunt series. And so there's going to be, I think Black Panther has 3 books, 3 issues, I want to say, in the Blood Hunt series. And so that's like 3 months, or at least a month and a half, 2 months at the most. So I'm thinking that by the end of summer, we should have a new Black Panther writer. So yeah. Frustrated actually said, "Oh, first, congrats on Eve Ewing writing an X-Men book. My question is, how do you think her stay on that book will go? The hate for her, the hate is real for her right now. Under 6 issues and done." Well, here's the thing. It's X-Men. And for what I understand, it's a new title. It's not something that I don't think nobody else has wrote on, but because she's doing a new X-Men book, I think there's going to be a learning curve, depending on, are these going to be new characters, or what I'm not even completely sure which X-Men book. I know she's writing an X-Men book, but I'm not completely sure where that's going to fit in the continuity of the X-Men, because I think it's going to be like 3 new X-Men titles. And the thing about X-Men is that sometimes they put out so much X-Men stuff, it sometimes gets convoluted. The Krakoan stuff, it started off great, and then they put out all these different books or whatever, and now I'm not even, the only thing I'm reading as far as X-Men is concerned, I'm and that book just started, and that was the Resurrection of Magneto, because X-Men Red ended, that Ewing was writing, not Dr. Ewing, but the guy he was writing, and so but I haven't been reading really much else of X-Men. I picked up the recent Wolverine book that had Black Panther in it, and that's the reason why I picked it up, because Black Panther was in it. And I like to see, Logan troll T'Challa from time to time. So that was cool. So yeah. 1 in 100 podcast says, just started my Darth Vader journey. What are some of your favorite Star Wars comics, if you have any? Well, as far as Star Wars comics, Darth Vader, you don't go wrong with Darth Vader, whether you get the run by Charles Soule or Greg Pak. That's, in my opinion, Darth Vader is the best. Darth Vader is the best Star Wars comic book that you can buy. You go no wrong with that. But there's 2 runs in particular. The original run, I think that Charles Soule wrote that, and then there's one by Greg Pak, I think. And there's I think it's 3 volumes of Darth Vader books. But you really can't go wrong with that. But my favorite by far is Darth Vader. So the regular Darth Vader title, because there are other Darth Vader titles. There's Vader Down, there's Vader's Castle, which is the IDW brand or whatever. But no, you're good with Darth Vader. So Darth Vader is the best title. You can't go wrong with that. So yeah. Monty Latif says, I think it's hard to make an argument about people supporting a book when they lie about sales numbers, and in most cases don't release the numbers at all. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to Frustrated Sports, because I think he kind of feels. He says, how do you feel about the delays from Diamond Comics when it comes to Black indie books? I don't know really how it makes me feel. Only because I understand that it's an independent title, and sometimes you're not going to get your books one quote unquote time or whatever. What I did with my LCS, and I did this particularly with Advent Comics. Now, when it comes to Advent, when it comes to Godhood, when it comes to Stranger Comics, I've told my LCS guy, whatever comes out through these brands, I want that in my box. Now, when that stuff comes out, or when I'm expecting it, I don't even worry myself with it. That way, I'm not under the pressure or duress about, well, that book came out last week. Why isn't it not here yet? that kind of thing. And you kind of have to extend grace when it comes to independent titles because they don't always get their stuff. And let's just be honest, Diamond is in the business with Black independence at this moment because DC and Marvel, they walked away from them. So again, for them, it's also a curve in terms of working with some new blood. The money is not the same, and so I don't expect the service to be the same. And Diamond has been in trouble with the industry for a while, so it's just not Black comic book fans or Black independent IPs that are having issues with Diamond. Everybody's having issues with Diamond. So now Imani makes a statement. He says, I think it's hard to make an argument about people supporting the book when they lie about sales numbers and in most cases don't release the sales numbers at all. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's one of those things. There's data that you can get, but it doesn't necessarily cover the whole entire industry, if I can say it like that. ICV2 is one site that reports sales, but oftentimes those sales are like 3 months prior. Nobody really, the comic book industry does not want anyone really to know what's selling and what's not selling. They really don't want nobody to know, because if they really put out the numbers that what was selling and what was not selling, you would be gravely disappointed. Now, here's the truth. For a book to be successful, it has to do, on a commercial level, it has to do 20,000 at least. That's a main title. Now, an independent book creator may not have to put out 20,000, sell 20,000. He may sell 5,000, may sell 1,000. Depends on, how many books they're putting out. But for a comic on a DC Marvel level, for it to be considered a success, it has to do at least 20,000. Most comic books don't do 20,000. And truth be told, there's a reason why there are 11 million Batman titles on DC's staff versus other stuff, because Batman pretty much, covers everything. Batman sells a lot. And so for that reason, they can put out small books that nobody cares about and it not really bother them. And they can just put it on their checklist that, see, we're giving you guys representation. We're giving you guys SJW stuff. We're giving you guys this, that, other, covering up the fact that their book is not selling at all. So, yeah. Gordon says, what is your favorite runs of Black Lightning? My most favorite run of Black Lightning is the Cold Dead Hands, which was a 6-issue mini. I also like Black Lightning Year 1. Written by, I think it's Jan Van Meter. Black Lightning Year 1 is probably it's not my most favorite. Cold Dead Hands is my favorite, but Black Lightning Year 1 follows right behind that. So those are my two favorite Black Lightning runs, for sure. The Ultimate X-Men was good so far. Don't know where it's going. Heavy manga inspiration though. And look, I saw that on the shelf, and I just thought about Peach Momoko. I said, nope, I'm good. I'm not messing with the Ultimate. But here's the thing. I don't know how long the Ultimate Universe is going to be around. We're thinking that the Ultimate Black Panther book is so good, it's almost too good to be true. So I don't expect that book to be around a whole lot longer. And you best believe, probably when that Black Panther book, the main title, comes out, they're probably going to end the Ultimate Black Panther run. Even though it would be kind of cool to have an Ultimate Black Panther and a regular Black Panther book on the shelf at the same time, I'll be here for it. So yeah. Scott Caesar asks, have you seen any good animated projects lately? Welcome Home Franklin and maybe the Waju miniseries. Yes, on Netflix, absolutely. I never did get a chance to see the Welcome Home Franklin because Apple Plus is very, very, they get on my nerve. Whenever you log in, they want you to verify your account, and in verifying your account, they make you jump through hoops, and I'm just not with that. So as much as I like Franklin, I don't like it enough to sit up and have to, bounce, be frustrated. You should make Apple. It should be easy, but that's the reason why I'm an Android guy and why I don't own an iPhone for a reason. So no, but yeah, that's what I've seen lately. So yeah. Paul says, do the Black Comic Lords need more help getting the message out? How can other people get involved and join the movement? Well, I guess what you need to do is hit us up at blackcomiclords@gmail.com and tell us that you're interested in providing some kind of service. We will most welcome you for your help and your insight and even your advice. We're not above, learning. Black Comic Lords, we're always learning. So, yeah. So that's what you do. If you're interested in, please hit us up at blackcomiclords.com. At gmail.com, I'm sorry. Every Bat character has a book except the Signal. Why even create them? Can't stand DC. Well, it is what it is. I want them to bring, let's see. I want them to bring back, this is a character I want them to bring back. I want them to bring back Orpheus. This is another character. This is a character they killed off in War Games. But Orpheus had a five-issue book. I recommend that you go get this. If you have not read Orpheus, if you're a comic book head and you have not read Orpheus, it's an amazing read. And yeah, man, y'all go get that. Dwayne Turner. So it's black artist, black character, but they killed him off. Unfortunately, the Signal is interesting in that. Now, here's the thing. I want to see the Signal with a book. I don't know why he's on the shelf or why he's not being used regularly, but hopefully they'll use him or whatever. There's a lot of Batman stuff, man. I mean, it's kind of sick. But here's a cool thing, guys. If you didn't know, DC is getting ready to do a Black Label book, Black Label featuring Robin the Boy Wonder. It's going to be written and drawn by Junie Ba. That's going to be pretty amazing. Junie Ba is going to be writing a Damian Wayne story. That guy's art is amazing. That guy's writing is awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's a Black Label book. Y'all go get that when it come out. The 1 in 100 podcast asks, am I watching Shogun? I'm about to start it this week. I'm probably going to start watching it tomorrow because I got the day off. I'm interested definitely in it. And so we'll see. But yeah, that's definitely coming. So Styles So Serious says, do you have Billy Graham's Saber Complete Run? I do. I do have the Saber Complete Run. Shout out to Billy Graham. Just matter of fact, just congratulations to his granddaughter and to Billy Graham. They just inducted Billy Graham into the Eisner Hall of Fame. So yes. Orpheus created by Alex Simmons. Yeah. Why didn't they make John for the new Orpheus? I don't know. So I read Scott Stevens. I just read Monkey Meat. I'm here for Junie. Yeah, Junie Ba is dope, bro. I like that dude. That dude's dope. That dude is dope. So I'm looking forward to seeing him doing some DC work with Damian of all the characters. When I first heard it, I was like, really? He doing that? So I thought about it. I was like, you know what? He might bring something different to the table. And it's a Black Label book. So yeah, he's going to probably act a fool on that book for sure. So I got a Batman family story that would crush the summer and be way better than the death of Superman. Oh, okay. Okay, frustrated. Jonathan says, I love the Signal. Dupe is dope and underused. Namani says, Junie is that dude. Yeah. Jay says, I know Blade may be taking a break after issue 10, but would you say this story arc with the Donna is a movie of itself? I do think I don't know if, here's the thing. It's movie quality. I'll say it like that. It's movie quality. Would they do it? I don't know. I would like to see it animated. I could dig watching a Blade animated show. If you guys want to watch something fun, Blade had a animated show for a little while. I don't know where you can find it, but it was pretty cool. Matter of fact, one episode had Wolverine in it. As a matter of fact, Wolverine did have a similar styles, more written in anime style or whatever, but it was pretty dope. So, but I would like to see the Adonis story on screen. That would be cool. So Paul says, I think Orpheus is the first black character DC created by a black writer and a black artist. Possibly. Now, he says, one of projects, what's the name of that Batman book, OG? I think we need Tom King or Brian Hill get back on Batman title to see the signal. They're the only ones that actually use that character. Okay, so what's the name of that Batman book? Which Batman book you talking about, Amani? Gordon Mahando says, I really enjoyed Junie Bob, fantastic creator. Everything Brian Hill writes is a movie. Hashtag Beast, yep. Junie Bob has a free comic book day, Teenage Mutant Ninja Story coming out in May. Okay, we're here for that. Shout out to all of y'all that went out and bought the, speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, shout out to all y'all that paid that $9 price tag for that, The Last Ronin Revolution 2. Y'all gonna have to tell me about that because I left it in the store. I left that book in the store. As much as I wanted to get it, I left it in the store. Neotheby says, I'm reading Catwoman Lonely City. It mentions some secret project Orpheus. I'm wondering if it's tied to Robin. I'm not done reading it yet. Interesting. Frustrated says, I read Ultimate X-Men, feel like it was target for manga fans. Probably was. They're trying to get some of the manga fans to come over. They're trying to provide, Peach Momoko, she did the X-Men book Demon Days. I think that was the name of it. You know what I'm saying? It had a manga feel to it. Marvel created a character called Arrow that had anime features to it or whatever. That character ain't been seen since they put that out. So now let's see. Neon Apathy says they should reboot the Spawn animated series, make it as gritty as that one. Yeah, that would be. I'll be here for it. If Marvel approves of Black Panther Blade Run, who is your artist? Whew. I dig Sanford Green. I wouldn't mind. I would like to see. Here's the thing. I like Sanford Green to do it. Maybe Marcus Williams. I'll be here for that. But Sanford Green, kind of like, because Sanford Green is the gritty artist or whatever. I just like that dude's style. I just like his style. Neon Apathy says, can't wait for them to do a Static Shock movie. Well, we'll be waiting. You and me both. Might say I just read Beyond by McDuffie. How'd you like it, bro? How'd you like Beyond? I enjoy Beyond. Beyond is kind of like Beyond is it's not great, but I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It's one of Dwayne McDuffie's lesser known books that he wrote. The Orpheus story. What's the full title? It's called Orpheus Rising. Batman Orpheus Rising. Yeah. Batman Orpheus Rising. So it's five issues. You would enjoy it. Avengers Twilight is good. Have you been reading it, Rich? Man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Jay. James, I read the first issue, and after seeing Luke Cage look like Mudfoot from Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, I had been back since. Why they do my man like that? Now we got to we gotta promote the positive black stereotypes. The black don't crack. Well, the black cracked on Luke Cage in that book. So I hadn't really been reading it. So, I just can't get over how they got my man looking. They got Luke in there looking crazy. Looking like Mudfoot, bro. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta help me with that. Because, shout out to Luke. Oh man, yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying, y'all don't think he looked like Mudfoot? He looked like Mudfoot to me. when I first saw it, I was like, bruh, he looked old. He looked old. Like he ain't no bullets bouncing off of him. if all they got to do is shoot the oxygen tank, he'll blow up. Just so Pericles asked the question because Signal work his own solo comic. If they give him the right writer, I think he could. Some characters, some people say that certain characters only work in team books, and I get that. But I think any writer can take any character and give that story, give that writer, or give that character, a compelling story. It's all about the writer. And writers have a lot of trust, but some characters just seem like they do better. And unfortunately, Signal, I think, gets tagged with that. I mean, that was a Batman Signal run. It was like 3 issues. It was pretty cool. But again, it's about the writer, man. So Styles will say, "Damn, bro, Murphy, you going back?" yeah. That is back in the day. But he said, "Beyond feels like an homage to Silver Surfer 5." Yeah, definitely. They should let Greg burn him a shot at Signal. I would like that. Yeah. Peter Parker just hit us with a super chat. If they did something with Black Light, who would be your dream team created? We're going to hit you with the super chat, and I'll tell you in a second.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
To write it, I would want Rodney Barnes to write it, and I would want Dennis Cowan to draw it. Peter Parks. That's my team. Rodney Barnes, Dennis Cowan. Matter of fact, shout out to Rodney Barnes. I know you know Dennis Cowan. Y'all need to get together and do something for real. But that will be the team I would choose to work on a Black Lightning book. Then that will be amazing. Does the current Hill series measure up to the original? It does. It does, Amani. But the thing is that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? The one that Christopher Priest wrote, the one shot, it's different. But it does measure up, I would say. You're not getting the, it's not the same. I would say it's not the same characters. So it's a little different. I will say that. Scott Caesar says, why do you think they finally brought back Night Thrasher? I hate the art, but we'll support it because I'm happy Dwayne is back. I think they brought him back because I think, one, we were asking for it. The Night Thrasher New Warrior fans were asking for it. He had been on the shelf for a long time. And I just think he's a dope character. There's nobody at Marvel that fits his aesthetic. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's not like Marvel has a bunch of Black men characters that are just like outside of Luke Cage and Black Panther and Sam Wilson that they're using. So I believe that they had this character on the shelf. Like they were putting him on the cover of Marvel Voices for the last couple of years and would never put a story. And I'm like, and I kept asking the question, why y'all doing this? Y'all not putting stories about him. Put him in a book. Give him a book. So now we finally got a book. So we'll see what they do with it. He says, I would like to see what Priest would do on a Black Lightning and Crisscross. I will be here for a Crisscross and Christopher Priest book. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anthony Ray Height, I think would be a cool addition as well to doing something with Black Lightning or whatever. 10100 Podcast says Sanford Green isn't only a great artist, he's really a nice guy. That's what's up. Monty says, I think Night Thrasher is easy to recreate team TV film that has a decent following among fans. He does, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know if they're going to do something with him on that side. You know, it would be cool. it would be cool. You know, Kevin Greavy did a New Warriors run that doesn't get talked about, I think, nearly enough. That was a pretty good run. Now, the original New Warriors run is pretty good too, but Kevin Greavy's New Warriors run is nothing to sneeze at as well. And so you can find those books in dollar bins, guys. If you're looking for something dope to read and something different, because Paul made this distinction on his show Wakanda Whiskey and Blurtum. He talked about back in the day when New Warriors was out, they were like the Young Avengers at the time, back in the 90s, because it was X-Men, the Avengers, and then New Warriors. So, you know, I mean, it goes without saying, man. It's a character that they have not used, and so I'm glad that, you know, my man is back. Tron World says, with all due respect to Big Master, his work isn't selling other than the question. But I agree the two would be great for the title. I mean, look, Dennis Cowan. I mean, look, Dennis Cowan has got some incredible stuff, Tron World. I think he is. It doesn't get talked about enough, but in my humble opinion, and I've said this, he's this generation's Billy Graham. I would love to see him do more stuff. You know, the stuff with Milestone, it's been okay, but we need more. We need more Dennis Cowan stuff on the show, in my humble opinion. 101 podcast. I think Brandon Easton would be dope on a Black Lightning run. He did great with that Mr. Miracle Man, the Shallow Norman. Yeah, Mr. Miracle, Source of Freedom. That was a good book. And here's the thing, guys. I just finished reading. Well, actually, last night I read these 4 books. I reread Excellence, the first 4 issues of Excellence, by Brandon Thomas and Kari Randolph. If you've never read Excellence, the run, you should do that. This is a pretty good book, man. We got this back in 2018. This was an amazing comic book. I wish they would bring this back. Somebody get a word to Brandon Thomas and Kari Randolph to try to bring this back, because this was pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. Scott Caesar says, I agree on money, but prefer animation. Still triggered how CW salvaged Mr. Terrific. I can never forgive them. L. Dawson's Excellence is a dope book. Yeah, man, I will do that from time to time, go back and reread titles or whatever. I think that's one of the coolest things about comic books, especially if you enjoy the story. Man, it's nothing like going back and revisiting that thing or whatever. And I just remember rereading it and thinking to myself, man, this should be a movie, a cartoon, or something. Spencer Dale's no joke. As much as we love fantasy and our aesthetics attached to that kind of thing, they need to bring that book back. You know, y'all make that happen. Y'all somebody slip in Brandon Thomas's DMs and tell him, man, we need that Excellence back. And here's a copy of Sons of Star Trek that I was telling you guys about earlier in Low Hanging Fruit. That's the cover. I think this is cover 8. So do you think Sanford Green is this generation's Dennis Cowan? A little bit. The thing about Sanford Green is that Sanford Green low key does his stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what I like about Sanford Green is that his style is distinct. You can see his book and know that's a Sanford Green book. There's no mistaking it. And so I love that about certain artists or whatever. They don't mirror or mimic other artists. Sanford Green is one of those guys. And so that's why I say that about Dennis Cowan. Dennis Cowan's the same. when I'm looking at a Dennis Cowan book, I'm not scratching my head wondering that's Dennis Cowan. Somebody, brought up about Tron War. He brought up about The Question. The Question is one of the most underrated, on the low, best DC books ever put out. If you really want to read something dope, go read The Question. That run that Dennis Cowan did, that was pretty good, bro. Brandon also wrote Horizon. That was great too. So I'm a new subscriber. Have you ever got around to Bitterroot? Oh yeah, we love Bitterroot around this podcast. We've been trying to get Dennis, we've been trying to get Sanford Green and David Walker and them to get back to it. They don't listen. They don't listen around this part. Yeah, we love Bitterroot. Yeah, we definitely waiting on the series. Definitely waiting on the series. Signal has a 3-issue mini, was actually good. He had his own little team too. Yeah, Signal's dope. Signal's dope. So now I don't know. I was going, Amir. I was curious. Have you started picking up reading Outsiders? This is low key a dope book. It's not a superhero book. It's actually a book with superheroes in it. And what they do is they make these investigations. They go around the world and they investigate certain things or whatever. Man, it's a pretty dope book, man. And it's got, Batwing in it with Batwoman and the drummer. It's a pretty good book. What up, Sierra? Good to see you. How you doing? I just finished reading this book here, Amazon's Attack. I don't want to spoil it, but Nubia gets shot by a kid, no less. I'm like, man. So it's got one more issue to go, and it'll be done. So Isaac found all the issues for me. I have to pick them up. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, been rereading some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like going back in the dollar bin or going back in the long boxes or short boxes and just picking up new stuff to read or old stuff to reread. So, but Bitterroot is definitely a book that you should pick up. Now, I just picked these up recently. Not pick them up, but actually, I just got these. These are eBay pulls. Blackjack is a book that came out in the mid '90s, written by Alex Simmons, Joe Bennett. So these are hard to find. Good luck if you can find these in a dollar bin or in a comic shop. Yeah, Alex Simmons though. So I'll be reading that at some point, getting to it. Let's see. You know what I found interesting is a lot of comic books are horror is very, very popular now. The Outsiders book that I just read, that issue number 5 was a horror story. Ultimately, Incredible Hulk is a horror book. I'm not even sure when the next Philadelphia is coming out, but there's a lot of horror good comics that, man, that's pretty good. So Tronworth says he has a question as a publisher. How can we make the digital experience better? How to make the digital experience better? I would say that if you have and I think Cosmicology does this or whatever, but when you're looking at comics on a tablet or something, there are parts where you can like touch the screen and you can kind of blow up the panel. So if you are able to produce digital stuff where you can actually blow up the panel and see details, because sometimes when you get a digital comic, you really can't stretch it. You can stretch it, but it doesn't have the effect, because sometimes you'll be able to like stretch one part of the panel, then stretch the next part of the panel, that kind of thing. Kind of gives it a cinematic view. So if you do something similar to that, I think that would help. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do H&H. I mean, just brought this up to my. I forgot to bring this up. Yeah, EC is restarting. Uh, you know, that's an old IP that is doing horror comics. Rodney Barnes is going to be doing some writing for them. So that just was in the news just recently. Yeah. Now Kofi brings up Shook. Yeah, Shook is a great book. I love the story that Rodney Barnes did in it. One of my favorite stories, John Jennings did it called The Breaks. That was a pretty good story in Shook as well. So if you have not picked up Shook, it's in the stores, Dark Horse title or whatever, or you can get yours through Second Sight Publishing. And they're getting ready to release the next volume of Shook, which will feature all Black women. That's gonna be pretty amazing. Can't wait for that to come out, or when they do the Kickstarter on that as well. H Nation, I'm still waiting for my Shook Kickstarter. Tragic. I think you should do voiceovers on digital comics because I think it brings younger audiences in and makes it a more engaging comic. There you go. Frustrated. Just hit you with some game right there. What story you can't forget no matter how long ago it was? Styles says Spawn 5. Speaking of Spawn, I would say Spawn 30 when he has his run-in with the Klan. Peter Parker Spider-Man 35. The original the original Hardware first issue 1 Hardware. I think Hardware #1 is probably one of my most favorite comic books as far as Black creators are concerned. Yeah. Another story I can't forget. Christopher Priest's The Black Panther, The Client is my favorite Black Panther story. I remember reading that and just really Black Panther comics are pretty serious comics, but Christopher Priest was able to write Black Panther through the eyes of Everett K. Ross from a humorous lens. And I just really loved his commentary in The Client. There's a reason why they used that story for the movie, a part of that story for the movie. That's a phenomenal story, period. There have been some phenomenal runs and story arcs as far as Black Panther goes, but for me, that one always sticks out. Frustrated, this is my favorite story of all time, is the Tower of Babel. Philadelphia, the first, The Sins of the Father, the first story arc, which I think is like 4 issues. It's one of my favorites. I mean, Philadelphia is my favorite comic book today currently, but that initial 4 or 5 issues, that story arc, Sins of the Father, one of my most favorite because that's a story, even though it's a horror comic, it's a story about a father and a son. And it just resonated with me. So I want to shout out Tron World, just hit us with a super chat. It says BCL Power Fist, that's what's up. Thank you. So in mine, it says, I think Brian here got his start on Outsiders. No, maybe, I'm not sure. But, I mean, he did have some other stuff. American Carnage. He did the Michael Cray story, Wildstorm. He did that. That dude, I told y'all, that dude been the truth for real. If you need something dope to read, something different, go pick up American Carnage. I think it's a Dark Horse series. Y'all go get that. That's pretty. This wise dude hating next to Wakabi. I don't know styles so serious. It's always a hater lurking somewhere. Kofi says Philadelphia is a good one for real. Yeah. Yeah. This iteration of Outsiders reminds me of Planetary. Hopefully they don't kill the black guy. Well, I hope not too, Scott. I mean, Batwing is pretty dope character. I'm gonna need him to stick around for a while. Yeah. But yeah, I love The Outsider. That's a pretty good book, man. And it was so funny too, because I thought about, man, I ain't gonna get this. I'm gonna leave this on the shelf. I was like, man, you know what? Let me give it a shot. And I read that first issue and I was like, you know what? I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm here for it. So it's pretty dope. And like I say, the last story is a pretty issue number 5 is a horror story. So yeah, it gets pretty spooky in that one. John Russ says, stay well and powerful, everyone. Peace and blessings, my brother. Take care. RNP to Amber Rose Chase. We hardly knew ye. G-Town Comics still reading Daredevil's book, Born Again. Frank Miller. It's one of the best. One of the best. I have been saying that just for as comic books it goes, I've been trying to hunt down a Chuck Dixon's Batman story, The Devil's Advocate. And I've been hunting for this book, I know, for probably close to a year. I was finally able to get a copy of it. And I got it for $4. Now, the last page in the book kind of is out. It's in the book, but it kind of was off. It wasn't completed in the book because they had a $17 price tag on the book. And I said, man, look, the last page is not even attached. He says, and I asked him, I said, can I get it for, discount? He said, well, I'll give it to you for $4. I was like, bet. So yeah, that's what I did. I was able to cop that. Chuck Dixon's The Devil's Advocate is an amazing Batman story. Frustrated Sports says, for the greatest comic channel around. Appreciate you, sir.
Let's go!
Jay says, what will you be looking for in the X-Men's 97 TV series? To be honest, Jay, I will be looking forward to seeing Storm, of course, and Bishop. Hopefully they will give. Here's the thing. I hope they have the same kind of attitude, process or whatever. I hope it's the same as the first original. That's the biggest thing. I want them to do the original. And of course it won't be the quote unquote the same because it's been decades since they put this out, but it's supposed to be like picks up right after the last series ended. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know if we're going to get that. I've heard people say some stuff about different characters and they this and they that, and I don't really care. Just tell a dope story. It's all I care about. I stopped watching certain channels because people begin to deconstruct some of these IPs and some of these stories. And it's like, you know what? You guys are literally just ruining the fandom with your perspectives. And it's nothing wrong with giving your perspective. But what is wrong is when you take the fun out of it. When you make it something that it may very well be what you quote unquote think it is, but when you begin to like strip the fantasy fun away from it, there's a reason why some people don't mess with the hobby like they should, because people just love to deconstruct. It makes no sense to me, but that's what they do. 1 in 100 podcast says, have you ever thought of getting custom graphic novels made out of your favorite stories, like Excellence? You just put that thought in my head, Amir. Never thought about it. Never thought about it. Never thought about it. I mean, I know Excellence did a Kickstarter for a hardcover of their book. I didn't participate in it, but that would be kind of cool. Neonopathy said, I used to love vertical crime. It's been years since I read, wouldn't mind reading horror. Well, Vertigo, I think, is kind of like went away. I guess Black Label, DC Black Label's kind of been in the place of Vertigo. So, but there used to be some dope Vertigo stories. I mean, what was it? Lawless was a pretty good Vertigo story. It's a comic I can't forget, Infinitum. Amani. Yeah, Infinitum is top 5 as far as best comic book story I've ever read. Definitely. Infinitum by Tim Fielder is definitely top 5. Definitely top 5. If you guys have never read Infinitum, do yourself a favor and go find Infinitum. Go to Diesel Funk, where books are sold, and get that book and read that book and put that in your library. Thank me later. Or Amani. Shout out to Amani, because Amani was the one that put me up on that book. Style So Serious says, worst thing Marvel ever did was show an all-black X-Men. Can't unsee that. Want that book for real. Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, look, when they did the Bishop War College book, and it showed these, in Bishop's vision, his grandmother telling him stories, and he's seeing the X-Men as all black characters. People were bugging on that, but it's kind of like, makes sense. If I'm a kid, and I'm black, and my grandmother's black, and she's telling me this story, I might just think you're black. I'm just saying. Yeah. Frustrated says Vertigo's Doom Patrol was amazing. The last Vertigo story was American College by Brian Hill, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, but Brian Hill, that guy, man. Scott Caesar, can't forget Court of Owls. That made me finally look at DC. Yeah. There's a couple of books I recommend to people as far as, most of them are Batman related, unfortunately or fortunately. Batman has a run in the Rebirth series that they did. There was a book called The Joke. Well, not a book, but a story I called The War of Jokes and Riddles. The War of Jokes and Riddles. And that's basically about the Joker and the Riddler going at one another. And Bruce Wayne, not Batman, Bruce Wayne in the middle of it, because it's kind of like, okay, Bruce, you got to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? Who you going to roll with? You going to roll with the Joker, or you going to roll with the Penguin? Very entertaining story. If you're looking for something dope to read as far as Batman stuff, you'll find no more entertaining than The War of Jokes and Riddles. That was a pretty amazing DC book. Yeah. But the Court of Owls is pretty dope. Matter of fact, there's a Batman story that just finished up. It was called Batman, and this is a Black Label book, Batman the Madness, written or drawn by Christopher Ward. Very dreamy, eerily looking book, style of books, 3 issues. It deals with the Court of Owls. And matter of fact, there's a Batman in that story who has a Robin who happens to be a black guy. So it's pretty cool. He said the devil, 1 and 1 said the Devil's Advocate is a Joker story. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Batman's in it, but it's basically Batman having, the premise of the story is Batman, there's been a murder that's taken place, and the Joker is innocent. And so Batman has to has to defend, has to find the right killer. So in essence, he has to defend the Joker. It's a twist. I'm gonna just say it like that, but yeah, it's a pretty dope story, man. Amani says, I think as a publisher, the best way to use digital is to release a ton of content more than print would permit. True. I mean, and think about digital content. Digital content is a lot cheaper. Um, the only thing about that is that when you buy too many books or when you buy too much stuff, it takes up a lot of your space in your tablet or on your, you have to delete or empty, when you run out of room. It's just like anything, you may not run out of room, say like actual physical space, but your tablet, you have to constantly buy, space or delete certain things, to keep it up. The one in one podcast, oh, there's been a murder. Oh, a murder, you say? It must. Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. That's a dope story. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't take my word for it. Just go read it. Yeah, yeah, man. So that's what's up. So what else you guys got? He said they did my man dirty, and Monty Ellis is one of my favorites, but that was clownish. Mm. It is what it is. Yep. I have out there screaming, got to check out Shook. Yeah. And like I said, it's a lot of good horror content out here, y'all. For whatever reason, in Renaissance or whatever, I blame Rodney Barnes. Shout out to my man, Rodney Barnes. Rodney Barnes, when he put out Philadelphia and then he followed it up with Anita Halls and then he dropped Blackula on everybody, that kind of got the ball rolling. People began really looking at, there's been other stuff like Something Is Killing the Children, don't get me wrong, that's been part of that, but to say that he's not a part or he's not partially responsible for the renaissance of horror, it's just not true. That book has been consistently good. Consistently. So yeah. Kofi says physical is a better experience than digital. I always will favor physical over digital. But I think it has its place. I know that there have been times when I buy a book, if I'm not sure about it, I'll read it digitally. And if I really, really like it, then I go buy the physical copy. But you can't always do that with everything. There's a lot of guys put out a lot of content as digital or whatever. And it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about a digital book, I just like holding a floppy in my hand, just reading, you know what I'm saying? Just sitting and reading. And yeah, it's been dope. Frustrated sports fans say Harriet Tubman is super great. Yep, that just ended. It will be back with Blackula. So shout out to them for coming together. So I hear Jace Fox is coming back with Ridley. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. He said, Styles of Sirius says, okay, thoughts to where the Philadelphia's next story arc goes. Well, the situation with Savage Dragon is interesting. I'm okay with it, with Savage Dragon being in the book. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. But I'm wondering what the end game with Spawn will be. I'm not really sure how they're going to do it or whatever. Spawn is still there, along with Savage Dragon or whatever. So they're really in the middle of this new story arc. And so the story arc that follows, I'm not quite sure. And the weird thing is Spawn is in an interesting place in the Spawn universe, because it's like they're getting ready to, or Todd McFarlane is getting ready to expand the Spawn universe. And supposedly they're going to have like close to 15 titles. Yeah. This guy Todd McFarlane is getting ready to expand the Spawn universe. I hope he doesn't expand it so much so. And the thing about Todd is Todd doesn't write on everything. He's not trying to be Tyler Perry. He brings other writers in. He oversees a lot of his books, but he lets other guys write. And I like that about Todd McFarlane. So I'm not sure where they're going to go in terms of the Philadelphia book, but I'm hoping that, things kind of open up with Seesaw. But again, it's Philadelphia, so it ain't guaranteed that Seesaw going to be here. I mean, says that, Rodney Barnes has Philadelphia like the Game of Thrones. No character is safe. They all can die. Yeah. It says Philadelphia's kind of moved to make what made it great. I hope the course corrects. Yeah, I think that is. Here's the thing about Philadelphia, and Rodney Barnes admitted this as much that they were kind of done when it was getting closer to issue 30. They kind of thought that they had kind of ran out of story. Then he got an idea, and so what we have now is kind of stuff that's come out of that idea. And so they've been able to keep the book going. The thing is, this book has got to you got to understand this book is like 30, 34, 35 issues. And that's like literally 4 years. That's an amazing run for a Black comic book. That don't happen all the time. So we got to give that guy kudos for that. And he was able to bring out Nita Hawes. And the cool thing about the New Philadelphia books is that the story arcs with the New Philadelphia books, Rodney Barnes is starting to reprint some of his stuff that he did on Substack. His Sheriff Gavin book that he did on Substack exclusively is featured now in the back of the book of the new story arcs of Philadelphia. He did that initially with Elysium Gardens. And so that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Philadelphia early on. And those first couple of issues were my favorite because there was always a backstory in the back of it that I could look forward to reading as well. So it's going to be pretty, pretty amazing. Now, let's see. Jay says, would McFarlane ever give Al Simmons a good ending, maybe start a new life as a human? Probably not. The reason why I'm saying that is because he's kind of the guy. He had killed off Al Simmons once before. Al Simmons had committed suicide, and he wound up bringing him back. He was clearly the fans' favorite. Now he could possibly do that, but like I said, he's expanding the Spawn universe, so he may go in a different direction. I know that there's going to be like a medieval Spawn book. Sam and Twitch are going to have a title, and so that universe is going to have a lot of different things pulling at it. I hope he brings Haunt back. Haunt has been featured in the Scorch books, but he's got a lot of characters, man. That he can play with, and so but give Al Simmons happiness. I would be here for it, but I don't know if it would make for a good move in terms of keeping Spawn going. So Kofi says the next story arc is going to be sick. Blackula and Seaside is going to be a good read. Yep. It's going to be fun for sure. Mark Robinson says the issue with McFarlane's universe is that it's derivative. One character, a million versions of said character. Mark, as long as he make them books $2.99, I'm here for it. One thing I can't say about Todd is he taxing everybody for variants and all that. All the prices, it's $2.99. The only time you pay more for a book is when it's like a number one or it's a special or whatever. But other than that, the books are $2.99. That's the biggest thing while I enjoy McFarlane. I'm a Spawn fan, so I kind of like rock with it or whatever, but that's one of the biggest things I like about Tom McFarlane is the fact that he knows that these books are very, very pricey, and he makes his money, through his toys. So the stuff that he literally does through Spawn in the comic books is just a good lookout as far as for the fans go. Jay says Rodney prints Substack issues of Elysium Gardens, even put it in the omnibus if there will be one. Yep. Mr. DC Comics said, what up? Good to see you. Monty says Voldemort. Shout out to Armani. I know you don't too much care for Uncle Todd. Spawn like Mary J. Blige, his pain sells. That's tragic. You know what? Stop. Scott sees I tried to get in Spawn, but it's too depressing for me and not enough action. I am happy for Al's success, though. I mean, it is. Listen, it's definitely depressing. It's definitely depressing. I think you would be, though, if you know what I'm saying, you sell your soul to see your wife, and then your wife marries your like best friend, and you know they have a kid. You couldn't have a kid with her. And, you know, yeah. That definitely would. You might need some medication or therapy after that. Oh man, yeah, that's what's up. So, look, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. It's been fun. Somebody asked me, am I going to get all the Blood Hunt books? No, I'm not getting all the Blood Hunt books. I'm going to get the Blade books. I'm going to get the Black Panther books. I'm going to get the Blood Hunt regular books. I may get the Blood Hunt Red Band books. I'm probably going to get close to 4 or 5 titles, but it's literally like 15 or 20. It's a huge crossover. I'm not getting all of them books because it really makes no sense to spend that much bread. I might as well get the omnibus. Wait and get the omnibus. The omnibus, it's going to be $100, but it'll probably be cheaper to buy the omnibus than it is to get the floppies and get the variants and all that goes with that with a series like that. As much as I'm happy to see Blade, Black Panther get some shine, and all those black characters in this particular story, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot of books. Speaking of Black Panther and Blade, this upcoming Thursday, March the 21st, we will be interviewing Brian Edward Hill on our channel. So please hit the notification bell so you can, when that goes live, you'll get the notification that that's going to be happening, because that's going to be an amazing conversation. We've been looking forward to interviewing Brian Edward Hill for a while. It's finally going to happen this upcoming Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, following next week, we will have a special show on Real Talk with Rich. We're going to be talking about this particular book right here, Weird Fantasy 18. If you do not know the history of this particular book, you will be intrigued. So we want you guys to come back here next Sunday. Well, me and Derek will be breaking down this particular book, and we will have a special guest with us, the incomparable, the legend that is Ken Quattro. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be an amazing, amazing conversation. So with that said, guys, we want you to continue to support the channel. Please like, share, subscribe our content. We're going to go ahead and break down and give you the benediction. And the benediction comes from Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, verse number 5. It says, better is to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. Until next time, we say peace. We'll see you when we see you. Stay tuned for the Wednesday wrap-up. We'll be right here. Good night, y'all.